everyone, how's it going? Hope you're all doing great. Welcome to another episode of the React Foundations series. In this episode, I'm going to be showing you guys how to write your own custom scope for your fronto-connect store. So basically, what do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look at what we have over here. So you see that, let's backtrack a little bit and go to our endpoint. So right now we're using the scopes that comes by default with the fronto-connect library. And it has a few problems in the fact that it assumes a lot of things about our server. Like we don't really know how our server is structuring the data that's getting output to the JSON. So for example, right here in our code base, we are outputting the array, which is nested inside of the data object in our JSON. And so, we don't necessarily always have control over how the API is implemented. Sometimes, we don't know the backend developer or whatever. In this case, we are the developer of the backend and the front end. We can actually modify the backend to fit our needs, but it's more practical to write your own scopes. So basically, like this scopes are readable, we're going to write our own in this episode right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the new file called scopes.js. And before I go ahead, let me show you the problem. So right now, if I do the data over here, you see object.data, we're just consoling, outputting the collection from the account into the console. And then basically what we're seeing is the object. It's not the array. We should be seeing the array. So as you can see here, we should be seeing just an empty array because the user has no accounts. But we're getting an object which we need to go inside like collection.data. Like if we did collection.data, you'll see here, let it reload, it would output the empty array here. But ideally, we would just be able to do the collection and we should be able to access the array as it is. So basically what we want to do here is we want to modify the scope. We want to create our own scope. So what I'm going to do is const readable equals, and then like that, and then we're going to head over into here. So I'm just going to copy this default scope that we have. So I'm just going to copy this chunk over here, paste it here like that, add that there, do that, and then export default readable. So these scopes in general, I usually don't define them for every store. I just define once because, I try to keep the API endpoint also consistent so that I don't have to create multiple scopes for multiple, models. So I'll just have one. It'll follow a certain standard. It also keeps things consistent on the server side, and it just works everywhere. So what do we do is we get a body object here, and then we can just do a body.data very simply. Semicolon, close it out like that. And then again here, body, and then here. So what's the difference between find by and find all? Find all, the body.data is, we're assuming that we're getting an array. And here, body.data is going to be the object of the whatever it is that we're getting. So that's kind of like the difference between the two. So body.data, like that. All right. So that looks pretty good. So let's do we got the export going. So that looks pretty good. We can also define our writable scopes. And, we can define it's pretty customizable. But for now, we'll keep this like here. And so what I want to demo for you guys is I'm going to show you guys how we can import this into here. So I'm just going to delete this. I'm going to remove the default scopes that came with their library. I'm going to do import scopes from scopes, and then here scopes are readable will just work because we already defined it here. So now what I want to show you guys is I want to show you guys the console.log of what we get from the collection. So I'm going to head over into the dashboard here, and then I'm going to do a .slice. Actually, I'm just going to do a collection. By default, we're not going to get anything just because of the way MobX works. It's just going to be an empty over here. But if I do .slice, or we can do .map or whatever, we're going to get an empty array. So what I'm going to show you guys now, I'm going to head over into the backend on the terminal, and I'm going to add an account just to show you guys that everything is working. So I'm going to head over here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a user so we have a user. Yeah, so this is the same user that we're using to log in from the browser. So user.accounts.create. and then name. So I'm going to do intellectual test, and then VAT rate 7.0, like that. So we created the account. So user.accounts. So now this is on the server side. We can see we have an account over here. So technically, if I reload my browser, we should see the account in the browser as well. So I'm going to do a reload real quick over here. You can see that we have an object inside of the array. Great. So let's take a look at what's in the object. Our intellectual test. Great. So now everything is working. So what we're going to be doing is in the next episode, we're going to take this collection and then we're going to render out, well, first of all, we're going to check that we don't have, if the collection is empty, we're going to render the welcome package, and then we're going to design and create the welcome package for our new user who just signed up, who has no account. But if the user already has an account, we're just going to render the list of accounts so that they can select which account they want to go and work in. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to show you guys for this episode, writing your own custom scopes. Pretty cool. I hope you guys liked the project that we released. Also, go ahead and give us a star in GitHub. Also, like and share this video with your friends and family if you found it useful. Become a member to get access to everything that we have. Like, we're showing you guys a lot of really cool stuff, like a lot of cool content, a brand new site coming, open source projects. You know, by becoming a member, you're supporting everything we're doing. So with that, I want to wrap it up, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.